What's up, you guys? I'm Dan, this is Frugal Not Cheap, and today we'll talk about a financial product that I think is just crazy. So in last week's video, we talked about buy now, pay later. And, watch that video for more, but basically I think it's bad enough that, there are people out there that are getting into debt to buy everyday items such as clothing or home goods and what have you. There are some pros compared to credit cards, but lots of cons as well, so check out the video for more. I got the idea for that video by watching a YouTube commercial for Klarna and Saks Fifth Avenue. But more recently, I saw another commercial on YouTube for a product that I think is even crazier. This thing is a home equity credit card. Do any of you remember the Great Recession? I was actually a TA, a teaching assistant, in an Econ 101 class during the Great Recession, so it was a pretty interesting time. I was kind of insulated from the economy, but got to learn a lot about it and see history being made real time. In any case, one of the things that made the financial situation here in the US so fragile was home equity lines of credit, mortgages, and that whole industry. If you haven't seen the movie The Big Short, I highly recommend it. It's very entertaining, but also extremely informative. I watch it almost once a year, but there's a great scene in there where Steve Carell goes to meet an exotic dancer at a recommendation from some mortgage origination lenders. The idea is to kind of learn more about what's going on in that space in Florida. So he goes to see this exotic dancer and they start talking about her mortgage situation, and he's got it in his head that she's talking about just this one house, and he's warning her about variable interest rates. But then she reveals that no, she's actually got a home equity line of credit, so she's got two mortgages on that house, but it's actually two mortgages on each one of her properties, of which she has 3 or 4. So as you can imagine, when you have zero equity in 4 properties, huge amounts of debt, it's a very precarious situation, especially when you've got these, initial teaser rates. Interest rates are going to go up, your payments are going to go up on all those properties, and you're going to end up foreclosing on all of them. So the point here is that home equity lines of credit, which is basically a loan against the difference between the market value of your house and how much you have on your mortgage loan balance. That difference there is your home equity. Loans against that put you in a very precarious financial position. So just as with the BNPL video, buy now, pay later, before I really start ripping into this product, are there any cons, and really what is this product? So what this is a combination of a credit card and a home equity line of credit. That's how they put it. And it is like on the front end, if you pay it off right away, it does act like a credit card in a way. But of course, if you don't, then you're tapping into your home equity. And so really what we're doing is we're securing your debt with your home equity and with your house. All right, so are there any pros? Well, one of them is that when you take a traditional home equity line of credit out, you might have to pay a bunch of fees. There could be like a loan origination fee. When we compare this to regular credit cards, then they do tend to have a lower interest rate. So there are a few different providers out there. There's Avon. That's the one I saw the commercial for. They do between 8 to 15% depending on your credit score and probably your income and amount of equity available. Then Navy FCU, Federal Credit Union, also provides one. I'm not sure, they don't put an APR on their page for the card, but for their HELOCs, home equity lines of credit, they do 8.5 to 9.5% as of this filming. And then there's a new one that's kind of waitlisted, but it's coming out later, called Chloe, and it doesn't say, but it just says there's going to be a low variable APR. Another pro, at least with the Avon card, is that it does sort of act like a credit card in that you can get 2% cash back. And that's pretty much all the pros that I can think about. All right, so how about the cons? Well, while you do get that 2% on purchase using the Avon card, if you want to cash out or do a balance transfer, you'll pay a 2.5% fee on that. Compared to a loan against your home equity, where you might have a fixed rate, here we have a variable rate, which could be risky. But the biggest con here is really just the whole concept itself and what we're doing. Very similar to buy now, pay later, except maybe worse in a way, because what we're doing here is we're going into debt and risking our house. So some of the examples in the Avon marketing on their website for how you might end up using this thing are a broken pipe, a bathroom upgrade, or high interest credit card debt. And at face value, maybe that sounds kind of reasonable, but let's think about it. So if we're following prudent financial principles, what should we do in each of these situations? Well, the broken pipe should be covered by our emergency fund that we should have put away. What should we do about the bathroom upgrade? Save for it. How about high credit card interest? Well, we shouldn't be in credit card debt in the first place. But even if we are, what we're actually doing here is taking that debt and reducing the interest rate by, again, risking our home by securing it against our house. So is there really any good reason for this product? I mean, if you're a risk taker, there are some very niche scenarios for like an investment or something where you earn a higher return that's guaranteed. Maybe, I don't know. But in general, at least especially in the way that this product is intended to be, where people are going to be, tapping into their home equity essentially for, emergencies they don't have an emergency fund for, or for luxuries like upgrades and probably vacations and stuff like that. This is not a good product in the sense that it's going to put people in a more leveraged and a more risky situation. And again, worst of all is that that's connected to their home. So to dig a little deeper into that is that, as we know, for most Americans, they're just not very good at saving over the long run. And one of the major ways that they're able to build wealth over time is because home equity acts as kind of a forced savings plan. They pay down that mortgage, the value of their home tends to rise along with inflation, and they end up then building their net worth by having this asset with a value and a declining loan against it. So this financial product puts at risk and really could keep you from developing that wealth building in the forced savings of your primary residence, which is one of the main drivers for most Americans. So that's my take on it. I think it's nuts that this product is even out there and kind of a dangerous and warning sign for me. And one of the hopes of this channel is it's going to help people to, share information out there and help people to make financial decisions that don't put them in such precarious situations and instead set them up in a situation where they'll be financially sound for the future. Hope you found that helpful. If you like this video, do please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.